around here, and it's it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome, and it's gonna change the way a lot of people, I guess, look at pro wrestling right now, right? So, um, oh man, I can't even fathom it. It's gonna be awesome. Uh, it's just I really can't wait for January 1st. I can't wait for the new year. It's gonna be as close to Christmas. I mean, obviously, it's only gonna be about a week past, but it's that second Christmas basically for pro wrestling fans, because now you get to learn about a new company, a new bigger company, what talents are going where. I mean, and this is around the time when WWE would make signings for the Royal Rumble for guests for surprise appearances and such. It's as Jim Ross would say, business is about to pick up. So, and it's really amazing. Imagine, because Tony Schiavone is the commentator for MLW. You have Don Callis back behind the mic for Impact, which is awesome. Now, being biased, I think it would be absolutely killer if they had Joey Styles commentating Impact with Callis. If Styles never made those political comments and basically got blackballed from wrestling, and I'm sure to the point, and he doesn't even have a Twitter anymore, Joey Styles. But if he had maintained doing what he did and leave the politics out of it, who knows where he could have been? He could have been commentating MLW instead of Tony Schiavone. He could have been commentating Impact because it would have been Don Callis' first choice of, hey, I worked with Joey Styles for so long. I think he'd be great for this product. Even in the new age, his style of broadcasting would work right now. Before they settled on who they got, Ring of Honor. I'm terrible at names. I apologize. I can't think of it. Joey Styles could have been broadcasting Ring of Honor. Joey Styles could also, maybe when Mauro Ranallo left New Japan to go to WWE or NXT, he could have been broadcasting New Japan. And with the way that they wrestle over there, his commentary would have been great. You have Mauro Ranallo's Mamma Mia where you meet with Joey Styles. Oh my God! So, I mean, for me, biasly, I would love to see him back, but I don't think that's going to happen. But if things didn't happen the way they did, I can't imagine what other free agent like broadcasters too would have been like. I can see Justin Roberts announcing for All Elite Wrestling if that is indeed the company. If it gets announced in 5 days. I enjoyed him very much at All Elite. He was one of my favorite ring announcers, and hopefully he gets a chance to work again if he wants to over at All Elite Wrestling. And does Jim Ross get involved in broadcasting with All Elite Wrestling if he is involved as it was originally rumored to be? Then think of it this way. It's almost like back to the Attitude Era when you had Schiavone broadcasting with one company, Jim Ross broadcasting with another company. You have Michael Cole now working for it. It's going to be awesome. If this company gets announced and things happen the way that I feel that they might be, then it's going to be nuts in pro wrestling. One thing that's funny amongst all this is they're still relying on the old names to draw attention. So Who the hell knows? It's going to be great. One more thing I kind of want to bring up. Let me take a quick break really quick. I come back and we'll talk about the announcement that was made so subtly on Raw on Monday, where they announced the return, and I say return because this isn't a first time ever thing, folks. If you if we go back to history of wrestling, if you think about it, it's a return of the Women's Tag Team Championships in the WWE. So I'll be right back, and we'll come back and talk about the Women's Tag Team Championships. Hang in. Alright, and we're back with Open Mic Wrestling Night here on Twitch. If you're listening not live, twitch.tv/Calypso426 is the way that you could see it live. Every day it comes with live, or not every day, jeez. Every Thursday and most Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can check it out and Fill in a Void Podcast Network otherwise. So let me get to this before I get to the women's tag team title discussion, okay? Pro Wrestling Tees put out, again, if you're not familiar, Pro Wrestling Tees basically were names in pro wrestling, whether you're a talent or a podcaster or whatever it may be, right? Sell merchandise through there. So they just released their top 10 selling wrestlers of 2018 on Pro Wrestling Tees. And I guess you kind of expect this list. Maybe this is where let me just reveal this top 10 really quick. Number 10, Adam Page. Expected. Number 9, Tama Tonga. Okay. Number 8, CM Punk. CM Punk really is a top 10 selling wrestler of 2018, still years after he had quit the business, and I'm going to say it that way, he quit the business. He's still a top 10 selling pro wrestler on ProWrestlingTees.com. Oh my God, people, really? I mean, it's really amazing, though, if you think about it, how much of an impression CM Punk had left on people to the point where years after the fact, he's still a top-selling pro wrestler where he wants nothing to do with pro wrestling, and he's been fighting, I guess you could put it that way, for the UFC. Unbelievable. Number 8, CM Punk. And again, you gotta take into consideration too, probably some of the sales from All In Weekend. You know, considering he was there for signing at the Pro Wrestling Tee Shop. I believe it was at the Pro Wrestling Tee Shop. But anyway, number 8, CM Punk. Number 7, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not really surprised. Yes, I get it. Well, he's not wrestling either. He's been retired since 2003. I get that. But he still does the Stone Cold podcast. He's still very much involved with the business, interviewing a lot of the current crop of talent. He still has his finger on the pulse of pro wrestling still. And he was the biggest star of the Attitude Era. I don't care what anybody tells me, fighting it with The Rock or whatever. He was the biggest star of the Attitude Era, period. So I'm not surprised that he is even on this top 10 list. Number 6, Kota Ibushi. Number 5, Bruce Pritchard. I'm really not surprised with that either, to be honest. I also didn't really realize how popular that podcast is to warrant even that high of a ranking on the top 10 4 top selling merchandise sellers for Pro Wrestling Tees. Number 4, Cody. Not surprised that he's in the top 5 at all. He made a lot of big news in 2018, and he's only going to make a lot more big news in 2019. I can't wait. And again, I'm not surprised by the top. Well, I'm kind of surprised by Pritchard, but I'm not surprised in the top 4, especially the top 3. Number 3, Kenny Omega. Number 2, Marty Scurll. And number 1 for the 3rd year in a row, the Young Bucks. It's amazing what kind of money that they draw just from selling their merchandise. It's really amazing. And I remember not too long ago, one of the Young Bucks bought a house, and they posted a very passionate, I believe, Twitter or Instagram post of, like, you know, when they said we couldn't make it, now I bought a house because of pro wrestling. Like, things like that are really cool for me. And on Instagram from Nick Jackson, 3 years in a row we've been the number 1 bestseller. Amazing, but we couldn't have done any of this without our passionate fans who keep supporting us year in and year out. And to that point, I don't know if I don't know enough about it to really make a definitive comment, but through a lot of the matches I watched of the Young Bucks on TV or any of the events, one of the, I forget which buck, but they're favoring their back a lot of the match. I don't know if they legitimately have a bad back or they had a bad back injury or this, that. But at the style that they wrestle at, they've been going at it that way for a long time now, and especially the way that they work, it's a long time without any, knock on wood, any major catastrophic injury. So to be doing what they're doing at the consistent pace that they're doing it at, and the fact that the fans are so behind them, it's really amazing. Let's see, 2018 was a very special year, but I feel like it's going to be topped next year in 2019, and I've said it on the show a few times. I believe that 2018 was the best all-around year for pro wrestling since the Attitude Era, if not ever. For different reasons. Again, a different era, so it's gonna qualify for different things that made it as such. He continues. Thanks for all the support, and please keep supporting this journey because we're all part of something special right now. Let's keep this movement going into the new year. God bless you all, and Happy New Year. And I agree with Nick Jackson on that too. We're in the middle of something. Now he's speaking for himself, and I'm assuming the Elite. But he is right. We are in the middle of something very special in the terms of the current climate of pro wrestling right now. And as a fan, I couldn't be more excited. If I were still a talent, and depending on how I progressed, I couldn't have agreed any more even if I tried. So, let's get into the women's tag team titles, okay? Now, funny enough that the pop-up comes around for Powerhouse Nation. I wrote an article about them, through them, about how I don't think the way that the brands are right now, Raw and SmackDown, I don't think right now would have been the best time to bring in a women's tag team championship. And I still stand by it. Even with the announcement, I remember, because I didn't watch Raw live on Christmas Eve, but I watched it later, and I kind of had the reaction of, are they serious? I had that reaction of, are they